All managers and workers or employees in organizations make decisions or make choices that affect their jobs and the organization they work for. In this video, let's focus on how they make decisions by going through the 8 steps of the decision-making process suggested by Robbins and Coulter. The word decision is defined as a choice between two or more alternatives. Thus, decision making can be defined as the selection of a course of action from among alternatives. There are two types of decisions: the structured or programmed decision. When we say structured or programmed decision, it is a decision that is repetitive and can be handled by using a routine approach. Repetitive decision applies to resolving structured problems which are straightforward, familiar, and easily defined. For example, a restaurant customer complains about the dirty utensils and insects in their food, okay, the waiter has given him. This is not an unusual situation, and therefore, standardized solution must be available. Next is the unstructured or non-programmed decision. It is applied to the resolution of problems that are new or unusual for which information is incomplete. It is also described to be unique, non-recurring, and need customer-made decisions. For example, a hotel manager is asked to make a decision regarding the building of a new hotel branch in another city to meet the demands of the businessmen there. Another example is the 7-Eleven stores here in the Philippines. As you can see, the other 7-Eleven is like an old style to meet the standard or the demand of Taal, Batangas, which is one of the heritage town here in the Philippines. So this is an unstructured problem, and therefore it needs unstructured or non-programmed decisions to resolve it. Next is the decision-making process by Robbins and Coulter. The first step is to identify the problem. The problem may be defined as a puzzling circumstance or a discrepancy between an existing and a desired condition. So, problem is a discrepancy or difference between an existing and a desired state. Say, for example, our problem here is the manager has resigned and we need another manager. Here, the phrase manager has resigned reflects the current state, while the need for another manager represents a desired state. The second step in making decision is to identify the decision criteria. These are important or relevant to resolving the identified problem. Like for examples, what are the factors that you will consider in making the decision and decide which decision-making model suits your requirements. So in the given problem or in the given scenario, the decision criteria may include the following factors. So in order for us to get or to have a new managers, we have to look for his relevant qualifications, leadership skills, communication skills, planning and analytical skills, and professional experience. The third step is to allocate weights of the criteria. This is done in order to give the decision maker the correct priority in making the decision. And number four, develop alternatives. This step requires the decision maker to list down possible alternatives that could help resolve the identified problem. So the next step in decision-making process is prioritization. So in prioritization, it is achieved by assigning quantitative weights to each criteria element. So the weightage defines the relative significance of each element. So in allocating weights, we put numerical value so that we will be able to see which among the alternatives or the which among the choices have or which among the qualifications of a manager we need to prioritize more. So based on our example here, so we have to look for the leadership skills of a potential new manager. Number five, analyze the alternatives. Alternatives must be carefully evaluated by the decision maker using the criteria identified in step number two. And then number six, we have to select an alternative. This is the process of choosing the best alternative or the one which has the highest total points in step. And then last, implement the chosen alternative. This step puts the decision into action. Changes in the environment must be observed and assessed, especially in cases of long-term decisions, to see if the chosen alternatives is still the best one. So in putting the decision into action, we need to have a clear communication of the decision to all concerned and so in choosing the best solution, there are four factors: the presence of risk, the economy of effort, time factor, and the availability of the resources. The last step in decision making is to evaluate decision effectiveness. This is the last step and involves the evaluation of the outcome or result of the decision to see if the problem was resolved. If the problem still exists, the manager has to assess what went wrong and, if needed, repeat a step or the whole process. For questions or clarifications about the decision-making process, don't hesitate to send me a message. Thank you.